If you are no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stop judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Well, welcome everyone. How are you doing today? This is Christine McIver, and I'm so thrilled that you are here with us today. We are going to be talking about a touchy subject, a little hot subject, a subject that might, ruffle some feathers, might poke the bear, might invite people to be pissed off at me. Cool. How does it get any better than that? And, when something pops up in my world, one of the things that I get is that it might be just popping up in some other people's world. And lo and behold, I mention this subject to people and they're like, oh my God, that is so going on for me as well. So welcome tonight to Copycatting is the greatest form of flattery. Let's see what this creates. So I am your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices radio show on the Inspired Choices Network. And before we get into tonight's subject, if you didn't listen to the last show, it was called Choosing for You Even When It Seems Crazy. It was a pretty wild subject. It was a pretty potent subject, and it definitely brought up a shit ton of stuff. So if you're looking to increase choosing for you, that would be amazing. So what would you like to get tonight? Well, before we jump into the subject, I'd like to tell you a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. I am a possibilities coach, a co-creator of all things wild and wonderful. I am a creator of magnitude. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies, and I love making pies too. And I am someone who does access consciousness. I'm a professionally trained coach. I am a pie maker, yes. I am also an energy healer, a website creator, and I am someone that invites people to greater, whether it's in their personal lives, in their business life, in their relationships. Let me know where it's at, and we can talk about it. Some of the classes that I've created, one of the ones that I'm loving is called The Pleasure of Business. And we've been rocking business class for over a year now. And I've got some cute, pretty amazing things that have just come in this week about what the pleasure of business would like to look like. So if you've been involved in that, if you've been looking at that, stay tuned because we've got some new ways that you can be playing with that class. Also have a program called Divorce with Dignity. Are you in a relationship, on your way out of a relationship, or completely done with a relationship, but you're still connected emotionally? That program is about moving you beyond so you can start to create new relationships without the old baggage and close the old relationships with kindness for everyone involved. So if any of those classes pop for you, any of those programs, let me know. I would love to work with you. I did just finish up a spring session where I gave 30 minutes free to everyone that contacted me within a month. I did over 65 sessions, met amazing people all around the world. It was so fun. And that has actually prompted a new promotion that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be getting that out there soon. So if you want to stay on top of what I'm creating, connect with me on Facebook is a great space, or Inspired Choices on Facebook, or my website, inspiredchoices.ca. So lots of things popping. So do you, tonight, copycatting, the greatest form of flattery. Do you get hot under the collar when you see someone copying what you do? Did you know that they are doing that? When they are doing that, it means you are being complimented. How many of you, when I say that, want to call bullshit? Want to go, yeah, whatever, Christine. I don't give a shit. It does not friggin' feel like a compliment. Hello. It is, it brings up a lot of shit, right? It pisses you off. I actually created a new program. We've been playing in the program for nearly 3 weeks now. It's called Up Your Ask. And the program, we are having so much fun in there. We've got over 130 people involved in that program, and we're having it's 100 days of upping your ask, and it's all about the ask and receive. And what a lot of people talk about is having a receiving problem. They want more things in their life, and they can't seem to receive, and they're looking at that. But there's kind of something in front of that I noticed was cutting them off, and it was the asking. We've never really been taught to ask. We've actually been told to stop asking, and so we created this program called Up Your Ask. And so for 100 days, we are all working together to up our ask, 10 asks a day for 100 days. And wow, there's a lot of stuff coming up, and we're really noticing a lot of the ways that we've been cutting things off. So I've been having a ball with that, and about 3 or 4 days ago, I noticed someone in my circle of colleagues that created a program called Up Your Blank Ask. So there's another word in there. And I'm not going to call this person to the table completely, but if they're listening, I see you. So it's interesting that someone would specifically use those very words in what they're creating. Now, let's be really friggin' clear here, guys. I am not the only person on the planet that has awareness about asking. I am not the only person on the planet that talks about ask and receive. And I'm not going to be the only person that maybe does it in the way that I do it, okay? They're not going to have the same energy as me. We know that when we create our own things, right? But for someone to come along and like literally cookie cutter what you do, it brings up a lot of shit. And I'm really grateful that this person did that, because now I'm looking at it. And what's really funny is that my radio show asked me to do this show, and it was scheduled to be done last week. And it just was not popping for me to do my show last week. And so I popped in a replay, and really grateful that I did, because this came to my attention in between last week and this week. So what did this bring up for me? Well, first of all, this brought up for me, like, I want to blank and shoot this person. I want to put my hands around their throat and go, are you friggin' kidding me? Like, how dare you? What the hell? Anybody else? Anybody else? Can you imagine, okay, that you have created something? You have created this very specific, unique, never been done to your awareness, this program, this book, this piece of merchandise, this service, and then somebody literally takes it and they just slightly turn down the color on it. They turn it from dark blue to light blue, or they change the graphic, the calligraphy. They change it from, one font to another font, right? And you're like, are you friggin' kidding me? And how much are you, when that anger comes up, when that intensity comes up, what I'm aware of now is there is something in here I'm aware of, right? So my anger for me, a lot of the times can be pretty overloading for a lot of people, and it also brings me a ton of awareness. So when this started to come up, I started to really look at this, and it's like, I don't desire to be in that space of anger. It's not fun for my body for me to stay in that a long time. And, I can do anger really brilliantly. I mean, I could shoot daggers with my eyes if you crossed me, right? And that's not fun. That is absolutely not fun for me. But what it did was it had me to start to look at that. So everywhere that you just stay stuck in your anger, would you now please allow that to go? Will you destroy and create all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pock, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So if you've not heard that before, that's the clearing statement from Access Consciousness, and you can go to theclearingstatement.com to learn more about it. Basically, it just takes the charge off and undoes what you're being hooked by. So when I started to look at this, I started to really step into, okay, so what's going on here? So that person that created that, she may have felt like, hey, you know what? I've been doing something around asking, and now Christine's doing this. And she may have gotten ticked off. So then she may have cookie cuttered what I was doing. Then, sorry, did we lose the internet there for a second? So sorry, guys. Sometimes the internet just drops. Cut out for a second. Okay, I'm back. So I would have been open to a conversation if this person felt like I was doing something that they had been doing, right? And if they were doing it out of spite, usually that's going to come back to kick that person in the butt, not me, right? So anytime you are actually operating from that space, it's just not going to generate greater. And this is what kind of came to me today when I was doing the Up Your Ask. So I do a live in there every morning. And when I was doing that, I was talking about, if you looked at a painting and you looked at an original painting and, like imagine you have an original by Michelangelo, right? And you're looking at that, and it's just breathtaking. I mean, in the last month, that's where I actually was. I was in Rome, and I actually was in there in the Vatican looking at all of his amazing, glorious creations. Now, if I had a Michelangelo sitting in front of me, and I had a copy sitting in front of me, I'm sure that the copy would be good, for the most part, if anyone dared to create it and show it off. But it wouldn't be exactly. It wouldn't have the energy, the brilliance, the pristineness of that person's hand, of that person's creation. It definitely would not have that person's energy. And you would not be able to, you would be able to notice the difference, and you would not be able to appreciate the second as much as the first, because there would be some slight differences, but above all, there would be a different energy. When you're creating from the energy of joy and possibility and amazingness, right, there is a different, and it may be subtle, but there's a different energy than someone that's creating it from, oh, that's a great idea, I'm going to steal it, right? So everything this is bringing up, would you just be willing to look at that and let it come up, right? And if you have ever chosen to do something that someone else is doing, really look at it. When we get back from break, I'm going to dive into this a little bit deeper, because after I did that live this morning, I actually had one of the participants contact me very afraid that that I was talking about them. And so I want to really talk to you about the difference between really copycatting and creating in similarity. All right, so that's definitely something that I want to look at. Matt in the chat room has said, copycat or copyright? Great comment, Matt. Exactly. So is somebody copying you, or are they actually stealing from you, right? Are they literally stealing from you and copywriting? Now, I believe this is what I know, that the universe puts out possibilities, because we're all, so many of us are asking about possibilities. The universe is putting that out, and whoever picks it up and goes with it begins to create it. Now, I've had some of my very dear friends all of a sudden will talk, I've got this great idea, and they'll go, oh my God, that came to me in a dream last night, or, oh, I thought of that yesterday too, and it's like, wow, right? And then we'll go, so who wants to do it? Do you want to do it? Is that for you? Was that for me? And we'll look at it, right? And it's a big kindness that we have that conversation. So please know that when you get that idea, when you get that awareness, you're not the only person that possibly receives that awareness. Okay? So you want to check on it, and you want to check on your energy of the creation, and where are you at with that? And is it different? Is my creation different? Is there a different energy in my creation than that person's creation? Are you actually going over to what they're creating and trying to just use what they have and just tweak it a little bit? Or do you have a similar idea that will unfold in its own way with you creating it, with your energy in it. So what is the energy of your creation? And truth, is it unique to you? Okay, we're going to go for our first break. When we get back, we're going to jump into some of the comments and questions in the chat room. We'd love for you to come and play. You can certainly call me up. We can talk about it online. It would be fabulous to hear from you. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, tonight we are talking about copycatting is the greatest form of flattery. So let's just look at that statement. Okay, cool. Now, oftentimes we will agree with that when we are talking to somebody else who has actually had their program or their product or their service copycatted, right? It's often easier for us to look at it like, wow, it's a big compliment that they did that. Not so much when it's ours. But if we really dive deep down to it, if there wasn't a value in what you've created, if there wasn't something that somebody thought they could garner from it, they wouldn't bother, right? So that is the form of flattery. Now, there's often times that I will be in social media and somebody will post something and other people will literally say, I love this, stealing it. And it's basically what they're saying is they're going to share it, okay? That's a different thing than actually duplicating somebody else's and riding the wave of that creation, right? So Faith in the chat room says, I've seen a couple of people show up with a very similar ask since you began yours. Both of them made me shake my head as I cannot imagine the copycat energy will produce anything valuable, right? So even if what they create, thank you, Faith, even if what they're creating catches some attention, there's going to be a different energy on it. There absolutely is, because the original energy, it's kind of like a print, a bookmark. No, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a stamp, like your energetic stamp. Your energetic stamp is on that original creation. Theirs is not. It's not going to be the same thing. Now, that's not to say that they may not, thank you, diluted, Melissa said. That's not to say that they can't create something with it, that it may not garner something with it, but it's not going to have the original energetic stamp as you. Now, guys, look at this. If you go into like Crazyland I went into crazy land for a little bit. I was pissed. I'm not even going to kid you. I was pissed. However, I didn't stay in it too long, and I started to come out of it. When I really knew, when I really tapped into, wait a second, that's a duplication. That's not creation, right? They're copycatting. They're duplicating me, but you can't duplicate me, baby. I'm one of a kind. There is no duplicating this girl. There is no duplicating what I do. However, if you stay in that energy of anger, you can start to kill your creation, which a lot of the copycatters actually bank on. You can start to kill yours, and they take over. Do you get that? So, let's see. Faith says, plus, if we create it while on a roll, they can't use that on a roll energy to boost theirs. Great awareness, Faith. Exactly. If you're really in that energy of creation, it's like you are just rocking and rolling, and you're like all of the energy in your body, and you're bouncing, and you're like, woohoo, right? And you're there. They're not in there. They're just trying to suck from it. But they're never going to get it all because they have a teeny tiny little straw, and you're a great big being in the energy of it. So, yes, if you stay in the anger, you kill that creation for sure. Now, Matt said, hang on a second. Hold on, I got to go back. The thinking. Really get the energy of you creating a channel like Moses parting the sea. Like you create a path into new places, a bridge for others. Thank you, Maddie. I really appreciate that. That's my friend from England, and he's up late tonight listening to his friend. How does it get any better than that? So, you know what? What are you creating? Where are you willing to step in with all of your amazingness and step into your creation, even if everybody tries to start stealing it? Would you be willing to be so friggin' potent, to be so amazing with your creations that people are like, oh my God, what is she doing? We should just copy it and steal it. Oh my God. Yeah, let's do that. She won't see it. Like, let's do it over here on this channel and they won't see it. You know what? You won't have the same energy, right? It just will not be the same. So would you be willing to be duplicated? Would you be willing to be copied? Would you be willing for people to, quote unquote, try to create what it is that you are creating? Would you be willing? If you're not willing to be duplicated, it can actually hook you. You can actually be at the effect of what they choose, which stops you and can keep you in that energy where you can kill that creation. So Faith says, ouch, I did not know that my anger could kill my creation when somebody takes mine. I'll stay out of that energy. Yeah, so what is it? I mean, anger, you really check on the energy of anger, because anger can be a potency. It can be a form of awareness. It definitely gives you information. All energy does, right? But if you stay in it, you start to contract it. You start to project it. You start to just choke it with that intensity. That's not being the space for it. Use the energy and move on. You want to be in the space of that creation, and you definitely want to be talking to your creation. How many of you out there are actually talking to your businesses? How many of you are actually talking to your creations? You know, I'll tell you something. Now, a lot of the people that are in the Up Your Ask program are not in here tonight. That's cool. Or they may be listening without being in the chat room, and that's totally cool. But I'll tell you, there are days when I'm like, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say now? And here's what I trust. That if a creation comes to me, I will absolutely deliver it. And I know that creation will have my back. I know that that creation is always speaking through me and to me. And when I begin, it's just like when I get on the radio. Keisha, how many times, Keisha's my producer tonight, she's amazing. Keisha, how many times have you heard me say, as I come into my radio show, I have no idea what I'm going to say tonight, right? And how many, Keisha, how many producers or how many radio show hosts come on and tell you the exact same thing, right? Like, we begin to create these radio shows, but their creations are actually also creating themselves. Only just about all of us, she says. Exactly. So that's actually one of the ways that you ride the energy of your creation, is when you don't have it written out like, a script. And when you're willing to be in the energy of creation, you're not 100% writing it all out exactly. Now, when you write a book, when you follow the energy on a book, sometimes you'll get the middle of the book before you get the beginning of the book, or the end of the book, and vice versa, and you'll be all over that. You're hilarious. He says they had better be fast to keep up with you, right? Hey, Danielle, welcome. So truthfully, guys, as you really step into your creations and you're willing to ride the energy of your creation, those creations start to come through you. And honestly, for me, when I start to step into it and something just starts to pop, it was like, oh, okay, and I start to talk. I go onto video, or I go onto the radio, or whatever it is, and I just take one step into it. It starts to unfold. It starts to come through me, which is really, really cool. So Melita says, what is really funny is that sometimes I say, I wish there was two of me, like being duplicated. Then when it shows up from someone else, I just want to smack them. Oh my God, that is so funny. I love that, Melissa. That is great. Maddie, do you have goggles that you can see across the pond? He just said, I just see them gasping, trying to keep up. Yeah, damn right they're going to gasp, because nobody can keep up with your creations. You're aware of it on some level before it ever comes to you and through you, right? Yeah, rather than running their own race. What would it take for people to trust themselves that the creations that desire to come through them in their own flavor will? It is not necessary at all. There are so many possibilities. There are infinite possibilities in the world. There are infinite possibilities of creation in the world, that when you are willing to trust, the creations will come through you. And as you are asking questions, you can start to create your own. Now, there's many of us that do the modality of access consciousness, and we do the bars classes, we do the foundation classes. And what is the difference between myself doing a foundation class and one of my colleagues doing a foundation class? We're both using the same manual. We both use the same processes. We both teach the same body processes that are in the manual. What's different? The difference is can be the time, the place, the space, but most importantly, it's the energy that each person be. So this is where we really get into that there is no competition. There really isn't competition. Competition is not real, because nothing is exactly the same, even if Melita, in fact, was a twin. Even if there was two of you there, Melita, creating simultaneously, and you both like the same things, you would both have a different energy on it. So that is absolutely not possible. Competition, true competition, can only be with yourself. So copycatting is really somebody's way of saying, I like what you got and I want it. Cool. Awesome. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. See what you can do. It's not going to work. It can't work because it's not the same energy as the original creation. Oh, it might come close, and it might fool some people, but the true energy of that creation started with you, and that creation is coming through you. So, the amount of energy to copy is it's inspiration versus not being you. If you really desire to create, and I remember when I first really started looking at creating something original, so I started out coaching in my business, and I wanted to start creating some products and some programs and some classes. And I was just like racking my brains, and I would go on the internet and I would look at what other people were doing, and, you know, it would be great, it would be great, it would be great, and then it would like get intense and heavy and difficult. And it was just like, ugh, and I actually couldn't move forward with it. And I was trying to get it right. I was trying to see what everybody else was doing instead of really tapping in what was true for me and my business and my body and what was really going to create greater for me. So that's where I started to learn to speak to my business and to start asking some questions about what would be fun for me. So we're going to go to our second break of the night. When we get back, we're going to continue to dive in and see what else everybody's saying in the chat room. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry you heard me laughing there because I'm reading in the chat room some very awesome comments. Just love our playroom in the chat room. You've got to come and play with us in the chat room. This is where we get to play together, and actually so grateful when people come to play because it's with each and every one of you that we get to create so much fun and an amazing show, because otherwise sometimes it's just me talking to the blank airwaves. But I know people are listening, but it's so fabulous when you come and play. So before we dive back in, I just want to bring you up to date on some of the things that I am creating. So there is still time that you can jump into the Up Your Ask program. It is 100 days of Up Your Ask, and we are only at day 17, so there's plenty of time to come and play. Go check it out. You can get the link in this replay as well as on my website at inspiredchoices.ca. I'm telling you, the things that people are asking and actualizing is really phenomenal. I am stoked to see what's being created. Also, this weekend, starting tomorrow, there is the foundation class, and there is still time. You still have 13 hours to get registered and get your butt in the seat to come and create your world, your life in a completely different way. I'm telling you, if you want to blow your mind, this is the class that will begin to do it in such a quick, precise way. It just rocks my world every single time I do that. You can connect with me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca if you would like to sign up for that. Also, I have a program called The Pleasure of Business, and it is acts actually asking to be created slightly different. So I think Melitza, I'm going to share with everybody what the business class has been asking for. Now, we haven't finalized what it all looks like, but we are going to be starting this in just a couple of weeks, and it's going to be like a buffet of business classes where you actually can purchase and join in one class a month. You can purchase an entire month, or you can purchase 3 months or 6 months. It's actually a 6-month program, and you get to choose which classes you want to come and play. So we're just getting all the final details worked out, and you're going to be able to come and play. So who doesn't like a buffet? Exactly. You know what? I'm all about choice, inspired choices. So why not a business class that you can come in and go, oh, I don't know about that, and come and learn all about that one specific thing. You can join them all for an amazing deal, or you can choose, your buffet. What would be fun? So just absolutely love how this is unfolding. So that's what the pleasure of business. So you get to choose at your pleasure, whatever brings you pleasure. As well, I've got a bars class coming up. I believe it is June the 16th here in my home. No, it must be June the 17th here in the Toronto area. So if any of those interest you, please, please, please come and play with us. We would love to have you join what we're creating. And of course, I've got to give a shout out to the network. One of my so exciting creations that I've created with a bunch of amazing, amazing people, the Inspired Choices Network, and we are actually expanding. We're looking for phenomenal people that are ready to bring their voice to the world so that they can change what's not working for what they know is actually possible. And so if you would like more information, if you would like to learn how you can actually be a radio show host, connect with me again, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. So back to our show. So copycatting is the greatest form of flattery. Now, if you've been with me from the beginning of the show, at this point, we can actually say, you know what? It is the greatest form of flattery, because what it is actually saying is that you have created something so amazing, so delicious, so inspiring that I actually want to grab it. A lot of people that are copycatting is they're not trusting their own source. They're not trusting their own knowing, and they're not willing to work with what is possible within them. And they're looking to you and they're saying, I admire what you're doing. Thank you so much for putting this in the world. Now I'm going to steal it. It's like, okay, go ahead. But they can never truly steal it, can they? They can never truly steal it because it doesn't have your energy in it. It doesn't have your amazingness in it. And just like this pleasure of business, so let's just talk about this. Started this whole program with the business course over a year. It'll be 2 years ago this November. And it started out, it was a one call, and it kind of just hung out there. It didn't really do a whole lot. And what it did was we created this 1.5 hour call, and it was actually Beyond the BS business studies. And the one call was like, it was good, but there just was no more energy on it. And as I began to change and we began to play with what it might look like and how it could be delivered and what was actually asking to come through, it evolved into a 6-month program. And so we did this with 2 different groups over a year, and we had fantastic results, and people were really enjoying it, and things were starting to evolve and change in their businesses. And then we started, I really got a hit this last January of it, something wanted to change. The core of what we deliver wanted to change, where it stayed the same rather, but the energy of it wanted something else infused into it. And so out of there came the pleasure of business. So that started to evolve differently. So now if somebody thought that the Beyond the BS business study was phenomenal and they started to copy that, when the energy of that class started to change, they wouldn't have that awareness. They wouldn't have that knowing that that's the direction it wanted to go in. And so because they wouldn't have that, even if they were watching me and they were copying it and following it and then they changed it, they wouldn't have the awareness of where it was going and what it wanted to evolve into. So this last month, we started the Pleasure of Business, the 1 month of the Pleasure of Business, and the energy on it started to change right in the midst of it, like changing faster than the previous class did. And so my colleague, an amazing co-creator that supports me and has got my back and my business's back, Melissa, we sat and we discussed it, and we really both got this basically within 24 hours, and we didn't talk about it, and it was coming to us, and lo and behold, now it wants to be like a buffet of choice, right? And so if somebody else wanted, again, to copy that, they wouldn't have the awareness or the understanding. Right? There is stealing, taking exactly what we have and putting it out there, but there's no true copying. Do you guys get that? So, did I cut out again? How long did I cut out for? I guess you guys don't know. Anyways, what part? Tell me where I was. I'm so sorry. Apparently the internet wants to play with me tonight. How does it get any better than that? So what I was saying was, if you were, let me just see how long I was cut out for, about 20 seconds. Okay, so if you were when I was creating the Pleasure of Business, and then the Pleasure of Business, the 1 month, we started to do it for 1 month, and then it started to ask to change, okay? So when it started to ask to change into this new buffet of choice, right? That's what we're basically, in these 10 seconds, that's what we're looking at, kind of delivering it that way. When that started to change, the people, the persons that maybe wanted to copy that creation, they wouldn't be able to follow the energy on it because the energy is not coming through them. It's not speaking to them. So they wouldn't be getting that download. Now, they could literally just watch what you're doing and they could change it, but they're not going to be getting the awareness of the energy changing. Does that make sense, you guys? So I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to read what they're saying in here. Imagine copying what someone is choosing rather than what works for you. Exactly. That's exactly it, Matt. We're not trusting. How many people are not trusting what is literally coming through? And, I was kind of ticked about this on the weekend, and I really just wanted to put up on Facebook, could all the originals please stand up? Would you be willing to be the original brilliance that you truly be? Would you be willing to step into all of your brilliance and all of your possibilities? As I said, there are people that do a lot of the same, deliver a lot of the same types of programs, a lot of the same types of classes. They're delivering the content, but how they're delivering it with their energy is what is unique to them that cannot be copied. So, what do we got in here? I know I asked her to please post it because it was awesome. Post it. Post what? I don't know what you're talking about, Melissa. I'm completely lost in these 10 seconds. Okay. We are going to go to our last break of the night, and when we get back, we're going to wrap this up. I would love it if you have any questions on what's the energy that's coming up for you when you're seeing people that are copying, that are duplicating. I would love to hear any of your awareness and see what else we can change with tonight's topic. Copycatting is the greatest form of flattery. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back right after this last break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. So, what's going on in your world when you're looking at copycatting, when you're looking at people stealing each other's stuff? What is happening for you? So, Faith says, it frustrates me when someone with a much bigger audience or following copies me. I think it's like they are trying to take money out of my pocket. I'm sure that feeling isn't holding me back at all. Yeah, right. Right? So how much, oh, this is good. Thank you, Faith, for that. How much credence do you give? No, credence isn't the word. Hold on. How much does that actually suck the energy out of what you created when you see someone, quote unquote, bigger than you with a greater following, that they actually copycat it from you, that they actually steal it from you? How many people actually go, well, I guess it's theirs because they've got a bigger following, or they've got a bigger audience, or, they are so-and-so, whoever, quote unquote, they are. How many of you actually back away and give up on the energy of your creation? Right? Okay, cool. So everything that is bringing up, would you now please just release it? Release it from your body, but not from your awareness. Look at that. How much more value do you put in them than you do in you? Where are you in the order of that creation came to you? And where have you made them more valuable, have made them more successful at this creation than the one that came through you? Melita says, I've had people copy me to the point where I've had my identity confused. When I did readings and another girl did exactly what I did, even looked a bit like me, and people would confuse us, it annoyed the crap out of me. Yet again, I keep asking for a clone of myself, so maybe that's not actually what I would like. Right. How about, Melita, some amazing assistants that have some of the phenomenal capacities you have, but not duplication? It's funny. Oh my gosh, did you guys ever see the movie Duplicity? Has anybody ever seen that movie? It's a phenomenal movie. It's one of the movies that I absolutely love. And I tell you, I want to find it on Netflix or whatever and watch it again. It's maybe it's Multiplicity. Oh, I hope somebody knows what I'm talking about. It's a show where the guy actually has the technology to duplicate himself, but each time he duplicates himself, the duplicate actually gets dozier and dozier, and to the point that it's like he duplicates himself, and then he thinks he should duplicate him, multiplicity. Thank you, Danielle. My movie buff friend, thank you. And he duplicates himself, I think, a second time, and then one of the duplicates actually duplicates him again, which turns out to be like absolute hysteria. It's with Michael Keaton is the actor in it. It's so funny. But it's actually, if you go watch that, go check out that movie. It's so much fun. But it's actually what happens when someone is trying to copycat your original. The original is crisper, cleaner, more potent than the copy can ever be. So would you be willing to step in and stand up for the creations that are asking to come through you? And would you be willing to laugh about this shit? Would you be willing to actually have fun with the crazy that is being created in all of this? It is so funny. It's laughable now when I start to look at when someone is copying what I am doing, because, you know, and I'm not saying that this person that chose to do this is not a brilliant creator. This person is, but they chose to do it in a way that is actually from the energy of pissed off. That's what I got from it. And did it create greater? I don't know. I only saw it once or twice, and now I think it's gone. I don't know. Maybe she'll tweak it and do it again in another way. I don't know. But here's the thing. I know it's not going to be the same energy of mine. I absolutely know it because, again, remember, I'm one of a kind, and so are you. So this has been so much fun tonight. Thank you, guys. And thank you. I want to say thank you to my business. And I want to say thank you to my radio show because, as I said, I'm never really sure what's going to come through with these radio shows. But I do trust that the creations will create, even if I'm just standing here laughing and carrying on. So next week, we actually have another show coming up that should be a kicker. It's called The Answer, The Conclusion, The Solution. And we're going to see where that's going to take us. I don't know how many of you are in the answer and the conclusion. Does anybody do the conclusion with what they're doing in their lives, with things that are coming at them? Yeah, I've done it a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. So I would love for you to come back and play with us. If you have a show idea, if you have a topic that you would like to come through me, I would love to hear from you. I would love to get a shout out. You can message me through Facebook or you can send me an email. Oh, I'm here. So sorry. Wow, the internet tonight is interesting. Wow, I guess, you know what? I'm probably too potent, right? That's probably what's going on. Too much energy in here. Exactly, Keisha. So some of the topics that, you know, pop to mind when you think of myself and you think of my radio show, I would love to hear from you. I would love to co-create radio shows with other people and see what it is that we can change in the world. So you can send me an email, thank you, at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca for any and all that I've mentioned tonight. And I would just like to ask you, here's your home play. I like giving you home play. What creation desires to come through me that just has my energetic stamp on it, that nobody else would be able to copy even if they tried? Play with that this week and see what you start to actually receive as you play with that question without a point of view, without a conclusion. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I just adore all of you. Come back next week. We'll have some more fun and check out all the archives on the network. We've got amazing ones to choose from. Take care, everyone. Remember, you always have a choice.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.